So there's this Harvard study that just, it really blew my mind. It found that we spend about 47% of our waking hours thinking about something completely different from what we're actually doing.
Yeah, it's a staggering statistic. I mean, nearly half of our lives are just lived mentally somewhere else.
Right. So welcome to today's deep dive. We're unpacking the core concepts from Dr. Phang Cheng Carr's book, Jom Mindful Gym Now W, and we're specifically zeroing in on his strategies for smart prioritization.
Exactly, because our mission today is to figure out how to beat that autopilot mind and actually find focus in these high-pressure environments we all work in.
And if you're listening right now and feeling completely overwhelmed, just trying to juggle a million tasks and falling behind, well, you're going to want to hear this because these tools are engineered for the real messy world.
And that 47% metric you mentioned, it's the perfect place to start because it really highlights the biological toll of mental wandering. Like, when we think we're multitasking to catch up, we're actually just rapid task switching.
Which is exhausting. I mean, psychologists call that attention residue, right? Every time you switch your focus from an email back to a report, your brain leaves a little cognitive tab open.
Oh, completely. And you do that 50 times a day, and your working memory is just entirely depleted. Dr. Phang actually calls multitasking a thief, like literally an acronym that steals your time, energy, presence, accuracy, and calmness.
But wait, let me push back for a second here, because when people hear mindfulness, they usually think of sitting cross-legged in a quiet room with a totally blank mind. How does that help when you're just, slammed with work on a Tuesday?
Yeah, that is such a common misconception. But Mindful Gym is really about active mind training on the go. It's not about passive blankness at all. It's super practical.
Okay, so it's something you do in the middle of the chaos.
Right. And to combat that cognitive overload, especially for perfectionists who get paralyzed by too many demands, Dr. Phang outlines this framework called Mindful PDF.
Mindful PDF, so like the file format.
Sort of, yeah. It stands for prioritize, delegate or divide, and focus. So first, you prioritize based on urgency and importance.
Okay, that makes sense on paper, but let's look at corporate reality for a second. What happens when your boss marks literally every single email as urgent? Does a tool like Mindful PDF actually survive contact with a high-stress workplace?
It does, but mostly because it forces you to factor in internal metrics, not just external demands. Like Dr. Phang emphasizes prioritizing based on your energy level.
Oh, wow. Okay, so mapping tasks to how you physically feel.
Exactly. You deliberately map complex tasks to your peak energy windows and the more mundane tasks to your slumps. You also have to look at dependencies, figuring out which tasks are physically blocking other workflows.
Got it. And then once you prioritize, you move to the D, which is divide the project into smaller steps or just delegate it entirely.
Yes. And then comes the F, which is focus. The text talks about entering the red zone for single tasking.
Which essentially means building a heavily defended boundary around your attention, right?
Yeah.
No notifications, no open tabs, just deep focus on one outcome.
Yep. But the real challenge there is maintaining that boundary internally. Your phone might be silent, but your brain is still generating all these anxious thoughts about the 50 other tasks you aren't doing.
Yes. So, okay, I've divided my tasks, I'm in that red zone, but how do I actually stop my brain from wandering right back to the traffic jam?
To fix this, you use a technique called NOWing. It's really simple. You just silently label your present activity.
Like just narrating what I'm doing, now checking, now typing, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And the reason this works isn't just about forcing concentration. Neurologically, silently labeling your current action acts as a circuit breaker for the brain's default mode network, which is, where rumination and anxiety live.
Oh, so it stops the spiral.
Right. Grounding yourself in the physical reality of now typing signals your amygdala that there is no immediate threat. It halts the stress response and lets you keep a calm mind.
That makes total sense for planned work. But sometimes stress is just purely reactive, like a jump scare. A server crashes, or you get an aggressive email from a client, and your cortisol just spikes instantly. You don't have time to pull out a PDF framework.
No, you don't. Your biology is just reacting.
Yeah.
So in those acute moments, the protocol shifts to something called Mindful S.T.O.P. It's another acronym.
I love a good acronym. What is this one?
It's S, stop what you are doing. T, take a breath. O, observe your physical sensations and thoughts. And then P, proceed wisely.
Wow. That really brings to mind Viktor Frankl's whole concept, between stimulus and response, there is a space. Mindful S.T.O.P sounds like a tactical way to just widen that space.
That is exactly what it is. It protects that space so you can ask what is actually helpful right now instead of just reacting.
Instead of letting your amygdala hijack your fingers to fire off an angry reply.
Precisely. It completely shifts the dynamic of your day. It's the difference between prioritizing what happens to land on your schedule versus intentionally scheduling your priorities.
And realizing that doing one thing at a time doesn't mean you're doing less. As Oprah Winfrey said, you can have it all, just not all at once.
Such a great quote to sum all this up.
It really is. So, what does this look like for you, listening right now? We want to leave you with a challenge. The next time your phone buzzes with an urgent, stress-inducing message, what if you paused for just 3 seconds?
Just 3 seconds to notice your breath before typing a single word.
Yeah. Could that tiny, intentional space change not just the message you send, but who you are in that moment? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.